Hey there. See some people are hopping on. It's Thought Snob Live. We're going to be talking about manifestation today. But you guys start tapping that screen and get everyone's energy in the room. There's power in our collective energy, and there's nothing but good vibes here on Thought Snob Live. Bad energy is not allowed. So together, we're going to bring what good energy we've got to the room and then create some, okay? So we'll be talking about manifestation today. Give you some tips and tricks and all sorts of things. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Keep tapping that screen, get your energy in here. And if you guys want to play along, I've been experimenting with these oracle cards, and my cousin gave me these for my birthday. My birthday's on Christmas Day, and she gave me these as a birthday gift. And I had like other people do my oracle cards, but had never had my own set. And these are crazy accurate. And so if everybody keeps tapping that screen, get your energy here in the room, get this collective energy. Maybe you think of something that you need some guidance on, and I'll pull a card and we'll see if it resonates, okay? What do you think about what? Before we get started. Just giving everybody time to hop on. I'm so glad you're here. How's everybody doing today? Drop a comment. Let me know what's up. Let me know what's on your mind. If you got a question that you want answered today, or you just want to share something. Maybe you've got some good news. Maybe you've got something you're excited about. Maybe, I don't know, something crazy happened this morning or today. I'm in Kentucky, so it's 2:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. I know you guys are all over the world. Fake friends don't make friends. God doesn't gatekeep love. Hey now. Heard that. Got that right. Include family in on that too. Hey, Sarah. All right. So you guys want to play along here? You draw an oracle card and see what comes up. Once you think about something that maybe is preying on your mind, or maybe you need some guidance. Paula, you're so what I needed in this transition period. Thanks. Barbie, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for being here. And I hope that some communication is sent through me today to benefit you in some way. And I swear to God, the camera does lie. I'm sitting here looking at myself, and it looks like that my lipstick is all over my face. And I swear to God, it's not. It drives me nuts. I don't even use a lot of the filters and stuff that are on here. Whatever. Okay. So think of something. Keep tapping that screen. Get your energy in here. Okay. No, I'm not using a filter at all. Like, I don't know why it looks like that, but whatever. Well, thank you, Shirley. Thank you. Maybe people who know me know that I just don't take my lipstick and just do that. Oh, well. All right, so everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Wisdom walking. I'm currently being squeezed before a shift. I'm trying to stay in curiosity. But what is reason? Okay, hold that thought. I'm going to draw an oracle card. Humor me here. I'm new at this. These have been really accurate for me. And with all of our energy here as the collective, messages can come through. And let's just see. So that's one thing we've got in the room, okay? Just be thinking about other things, everybody. Any questions you want answered, any guidance you may need, we're just playing around here, okay? And absolutely, for those who have just joined, I love these oracle cards. They're freaking great. I received them as a gift, and they have been really accurate. All right, so keep in mind what maybe you need an answer to, or or guidance on, okay? Sarah, you can ask in the comments, or you can silently think it to yourself, or whatever. Just tap that screen, make sure everybody get the energy into the room. I don't usually go too much into spirituality away from God's word, but sometimes a sense. Elizabeth Ray, my work is all about God. Spirituality does not take God out of the mix whatsoever. Period. Everything I do is based on God. Everything. So, people get spirituality and religion confused. People think that spirituality takes them away from God. Often it gets them closer to it, because organized religion tells you who you are and who you're supposed to be, where spirituality helps you tap into your inner wisdom and be who you're supposed to be without any kind of freaking judgment. So, I can talk about that all day long. All right. Keep tapping that screen. Keep whatever in mind it is that you want answered. I'm getting ready to pull a card. Let's see. All right. Just having a little fun here before we get started. Number 6 is the card I pulled, receive all the things. So I'm going to show this to you and then look it up in my little book here and see what it means. So number 6. Well, there we go. Okay, number 6 card, receive all things. Hey, Kelly. Flowers don't refuse the rain, and all of nature's creatures benefit from the sun without striving for its favor. You don't have to earn, prove, or produce in order to be worthy. You are worthy right now, as is. Life is give and take, and yet take got a bad rap somewhere. But it's nature's way. Just like a rose bush offers fragrance and beauty, it needs to receive all the elements in order to bloom. Ultra independence is a trauma response, and you're too lovely to live in trauma any longer. Okay. I think that was pretty good. I know that resonated with me on a couple of different levels, because I've launched a new business. I'll be doing my own spiritual retreats, and I'm really excited about it. Oh, good, Rachel. I'm glad. It's good. It's great. Kelly, you're right. We don't deserve that freaking trauma. But that resonated with me. I've been working on a new business venture, launching my own spiritual retreats. My first event is on March the 22nd. Anybody who's close to Kentucky, I would love for you all to come. All the information's on my website at paulaspoke.com. And I'm more excited about these retreats than anything I've ever done, but it's like I haven't been allowing myself to fully be excited, because I'm thinking about past projects that I've done that haven't been successful. Like, I was successful in the creation and the design, but then nobody paid attention to them. And so that kind of lingers, and that is like a micro trauma. I mean, those disappointments are micro traumas, and they accumulate, you know. So that was a good one. I'm glad I did that. Something told me to play around with those oracle cards, and I'm glad that it did. Kelly, we'll do a retreat the second I have the money. Well, I would absolutely love to see you there, and so I will keep you in the loop about everything that's going on, okay? All right, so we're going to talk about manifestation, and there are a few things that I want to share with you today, and it's common sense stuff. It's common sense stuff. And a lot of times I can talk about things that are really complex. But today I'm going to keep it simple. And it's common sense things, and I just want to draw attention to some behaviors that you may be attached to that are blocking you from getting what you want, and you might not even realize it. A lot of people, I'm going to say 99%, don't realize it. And there are some things that I am unaware of at times too. So, and you know, people are saying, hey, I definitely block myself. We all do. We all do. It boils down to awareness or lack of awareness. So everything I'm going to tell you today, these are things you don't have to spend one penny. You can start working on them the moment that you leave this live session without spending a dime, no learning curve, nothing. Okay, how's that sound? I mean, this is just good old common sense stuff. It's absolutely Coco. I need to not block myself. Right, all of us. Okay, we're human. We are human, and we just have a tendency to do that. You know why? Because we've been freaking programmed to do it. I mean, the conditioning, the subconscious programming interferes with everything. If it's not conditioning and programming that serves our highest good. And usually, unfortunately, it's not. And it's just the bad stuff is easier to believe. And there's a lot of brain science to explain why that is. And I talk about this a lot. We are wired toward negativity bias. That means we have to work extra hard to get that out of our subconscious so that we can believe the good stuff over the bad. And some of the things I'm going to pass along to you today, you'll probably go, oh, wow, okay, have a few aha moments. And then the minute you leave this live, you're going to go run and you're going to do something, okay? The first thing I want to pass along is you wouldn't believe how hanging on to old things blocks you. Like, we're human and the divine isn't. And when I say the divine, I'm talking about your source. I'm just using one word to put it all together. I'm talking Jesus Christ, God, the universe, your angels, your spirit guides, your whole spiritual board of directors. You know, that's what I refer to them as a whole lot. It's that divine energy that we all have access to anytime we want to access it. That's that whole thing, just to make sure I'm clear when I say the divine. The divine does not communicate the way that human beings do. So we have to get creative and create in a more intelligent way that isn't always audible, okay? Hanging on to old things that represent old versions of us is a huge blocker. Because if we are, and this includes people, if you're hanging on to old clothes, people, anything from the past that doesn't represent you anymore, you are communicating the wrong message to the divine. If you don't want those things anymore, if they don't resemble a new version of you, then you're communicating, you're sending mixed signals to the divine, okay? You want to make sure that the space you live in represents who you are. You want to make sure you have the most recent picture, a picture of yourself that you love, on your vision boards. You do not want to have outdated shit on your vision boards. Even though you still may want the stuff that's on the old board, you want to update it with the new version of you, the version who you are now. Like who I am today, totally different version 3 years ago. Totally different. Totally. Even a year ago, I'm a different person now than I was a year ago. And it's a better version. So I don't need to be hanging on to stuff that represents who I was 3 years ago. Okay? And one of the best things that you can do if you feel blocked is to get rid of that stuff and declutter. Just get any clutter out of your space that you can. Throw it away, give it away. Because when you give something away, I mean, that's an act of generosity and somebody's going to benefit from that. Even though it doesn't serve you anymore, it doesn't represent you anymore, it might help somebody else. Rachel, spring cleaning is coming. That's exactly right. We're going into Aries season, Taurus season. Time to clear it all out. It does wonders for your manifestation game. It does wonders. And if you are decluttering, or you run across some clothes or shoes or pictures or anything, a piece of art, anything, and you're teeter-tottering about what to do with it, keep it, throw it away, whatever, then think about this. Ask yourself, well, does this represent who I am now, or does this represent the life I want to create? If the answer is no, get rid of it. If the answer is yes, then find a way to put it to good use, okay? Anybody have anything to say about that? Any questions? Please help. It's what I'm here for. If you have a specific question, you can ask it in the comments and I will answer it to the best of my ability. Dealing with a toxic mother-in-law. Whew. Tell me a little bit more about that. Do you have to be around her a lot? What's the deal? Glow up. Haven't seen your videos or lives in so long. Well, let me tell you. I don't know what is going on with TikTok, but my video views have gone from hundreds of thousands to 200 and 300 views. People do not attend my lives like they used to. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what I've done. I have no idea. But I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you're seeing me again. Is rude to her grandchildren and myself. Well, the only thing you can do, and this is, I don't know nothing clearly about your situation. I don't know you, your grandchildren, the mother-in-law. I don't know. Samantha, glad to find you again. Okay, I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I haven't gone anywhere. TikTok just has been suppressing my traffic. I don't know why. Okay, maybe that's right. Maybe it is just taking some time for TikTok to get back to normal. So back to the comment about rude grandmother. Keep in mind, okay, that usually people who are rude, and this isn't an excuse, it's an explanation, okay? If you can look at her, that rudeness is coming from something that's buried so deep in her that she hasn't processed, that she's been repressing or something. And the rudeness has nothing to do with you. And it's your power lies in how you react. If you stop reacting, then she can't get what she wants out of you. You got to keep in mind, you're very rarely going to change anybody. No need in trying to control what's out of your control. Work on what you can control. And the only thing you can control is you. And your reaction could make or break the situation. If you stop giving her what she wants, see what happens. And don't give her an opportunity to be rude. If she's rude, just don't pay any attention to it. Or you can stop her dead in her tracks and look at her and say, do you feel better? Do you feel better now, like having insulted me? And just stare at her. And when you react that way, it throws the other person for a loop. And I'm telling you, it's mindful awareness and it's emotional intelligence. And I wrote a whole freaking book about how to deal with people like that grandma. Thought Snob, the Modern Spiritual Playbook for a Better Life. It is one big playbook that teaches you how to be mindfully aware, emotionally intelligent, and live in faith. And when I say live in faith, I'm talking about use your God-given free will as a luxury. Don't take it for granted. And you can make a choice in any moment to create good health, create sickness, create peace, create hostility, you can make that choice. This book teaches you how to do that. It's common sense. This whole book is common sense, okay? Kelly says, oh my God, I'm rereading Thought Snob. If you haven't got a copy, I would be honored for you to read it. It's available on Amazon and Audible, paperback, Kindle, and audiobook, okay? Check it out. It's my first book, and it's a self-empowerment book. It debuted last August. I'm very proud of it. I put my heart and soul in it and went through hell and high water to get the damn thing published. And I believe in it so much. Everything in this book I use to change my life. It's not woo-woo. Everything I say in here is backed by science, okay? All right. All right, so I was talking about the danger of hanging on to old things regarding how it interferes with your manifestation, because we're always manifesting even things that we don't want, and that happens when we're operating, being unaware, going about life mindlessly. Rosie just got it on Audible. Oh, thank you, Rosie. Let me know what you think about it. You can keep in touch with me through here, or check out my website, paulaswope.com. You can email me. I'm on Instagram. I'm everywhere. So make sure that you let me know how you like it. And I actually have a competition going on. I have sold quite a few copies of Thought Snob on Amazon, but it's really challenging to get reviews. And I get that, because I don't always do reviews either, because we're busy. So when I hit 10,000 reviews, I'm doing a cash giveaway. It's a $1,000 cash giveaway. And I'll just draw it random. When I hit 10,000 reviews on Amazon, I'm just going to draw a name, and you will get $1,000. So just throwing that out there. I started it around Christmas time, and the reviews are coming in, but it's slow. And so the competition is just going to keep going till I hit 10,000. And then when I hit 10,000, draw the name, $1,000. Where am I at? I'm in Kentucky, but I will send it to you through your preferred payment method, whether that's Venmo or PayPal or good old-fashioned check, or if you're local, I'll hand you the cash. And then after that competition ends, then I'll just restart it. And when I hit another, say, 5,000 reviews or something, then I'll do another cash giveaway, okay? All right, so the next thing, I talked about not hanging on to old things, talked about decluttering. And I want to say one more thing about decluttering. Rosie, I'm sorry. You mean, where are you at with the reviews? I'm pretty far out. I haven't checked it in a couple, 3 weeks. Oh, hey, Martina. But the last time I looked, I had 30 reviews, which is ridiculous based on how many books I've sold. So, yeah. Oh, and there's my Aunt Dolores. What about that? Welcome, Dolores. So, and I would just want to say one thing about decluttering, because I always want to back up what I say with research. I'm not just here. I can speak on synchronicity. Sure. Hang on just 1 second, Kara. Okay. Let me make a note of that so I don't forget. I get sidetracked, get off on tangents and stuff. So when you are in a space with a bunch of clutter, it's too much for your brain. Your brain gets overstimulated. It's too much, and the brain can't process all that, and it causes people to be discombobulated. When you're trying to, well, I shouldn't use the word trying. When you feel blocked with your manifestations, it could be because you don't have clarity. You really need to be, your mind needs to be clear. You need to be able to think with clarity. You need to be able to focus. And if you're in a space that's cluttered and causing you to be frustrated and confused, you're not going to be able to attract what you want. That's just all there is to it. And right at the core of it, Rachel just got my copy of Thought Snob. Oh, thank you so much. Let me know what you think about it, please. You can always contact me. There's several people in the room, and they will tell you that if you contact me, I will respond. I love my people. Wishing fantastic day. Decluttering is a must. I mean, it just really is, because when you boil right down to it, if you aren't attracting the life that you want, okay, how do you feel? Because it all goes back to how you feel. If you don't feel well, then you're not going to be able to attract the good stuff. It's how you feel consistently, okay? Thank you, Rachel. So your name, well, I mean, you leave a review, you're automatically entered into the cash giveaway. And I made a bunch of posts about it back in December, and then I moved on and to something else and kind of dropped the ball because the reviews were coming in, so slow. And I knew it was going to take a while to get to 10,000 reviews. But the cash giveaway is absolutely still going. It's still going. Hit 10,000 reviews. I will draw a name at random. Well, I won't do it. I'll have somebody else do it just to make sure. I don't know. I'll have somebody else do it. So it's not me. So it's like, I'll like film it while somebody else does it or something, just to make sure that it's being fairly done. But $1,000 cash giveaway will be yours. We just got to get to 10,000 reviews. So thank you all so much for buying a copy of the book. And I believe in it so much. And I know that it's going to benefit you greatly. Absolutely, no doubt. So think about how you feel. Take inventory of how you feel day to day. I'm talking day to day. All of us have a bad day here and there. All of us maybe are sick, here and there. Got the blues here and there. Women, hormones can cause your mood to go back and forth. Everybody has a bad day here and there, but a bad day once or twice, 3-4 times a year is a lot different than 3 or 4 times a week. And if you're having bad days more than good days, then you're in a danger zone for manifesting what you don't want. And I just want you to really understand that. Nobody's against you. You're not unlucky. It's subconscious interference that's causing you to have those bad days. Because whatever you believe about yourself and however you feel, most of the time, that's what you are creating in your life. And that's people, places, things, and experiences. For instance, if you take a vacation and everything goes wrong, something's going on. Something is going on. Something's off balance. Your energy is attached to what you don't want. Nobody wants to go on vacation and encounter one challenge after another. And that's just an example. It's just a hypothetical example that may or may not apply to you. It's a metaphor for everyday life. If I couldn't even go to the grocery store back in the day without something ridiculous happening. It's the truth. Everything I did, it was something stupid happened. And I blamed everybody else. And I thought that everybody else was causing all that bad luck. No. It was me. I've owned every stinking ounce of it. Every ounce of it. Manifesting ignores statistics and puts the failure on the individual and not the system. Manifestation absolutely ignores the statistics. You are correct. Because it's our power. It's us. It's us. We can consciously create whatever we want. I understand that life throws us curveballs, but our reaction can make or break any situation. And we have a whole lot of control because we've got God-given free will. And we choose the life that we want. And I know a lot of people who were born into wealthy families. It's not just all about money. I know a lot of people who were born with every privilege there is, okay? And made a total train wreck of their lives. I also know people who were born into poverty with at every disadvantage in the world, and they overcome that. They beat it and made a wonderful life for themselves. If you people watch and you see the differences in people's lifestyles, that means a whole lot more when it comes to manifestation than it does the statistics. Okay? Rachel, that's how my life feels. Sometimes it's comical. Wait until you read my book. Wait until you read my book. It was ridiculous. My life was comical. It was a soap opera. It was an absolute soap opera. And I talked about it all the time, which was another blocker, by the way. I made a joke of my life to people. And the collective is powerful because what people believe about you, that means something. I had 50 to 100 people believing that I was a complete loser. I used to say I had been put on this earth to be tormented. That was what I said. That's what I would say when my Calvin Klein's was holding down that bar stool at some den of iniquity in the pits of hell. Okay? That's what I would say. And I'd say I've been put on this earth to be tormented, and I would entertain everybody with my stories. And those stories, unfortunately, were true. And my dating life was a reality TV show. And at that time, I blamed all of those men for treating me poorly, but I was there for it, man. I mean, I was there for it. You know, if there was a narcissistic a-hole within, a 50-foot radius, I mean, I was just running, straight for them and beg them to love me, just beg them to love me. And just wondered why in the world I was treated so bad. And then Wayne Dyer came into my life when I was in my late 20s and helped me to see the light. Val Simpson, hi sweetheart, I bought your book and I love it. This is great. Thank you so much. Which format did you get, if you don't mind me asking? A lot of people really love the audiobook, and it is funny. It's a totally different experience from just reading it. But the book is set up to journal, and a lot of people bought the paperback so they could journal along with the audiobook. So I always ask, you got the paperback? Okay. Yeah, paperbacks are my favorite because I like to write, I like to journal. That's why I set my book up the way that I did. Yeah. I got the Kindle Love Wayne Dyer. Well, you're going to see a lot about Wayne Dyer in my book. I swear I don't understand what my lipstick looks like. It's smeared all over my face. I swear to God it's not. I just don't know. The camera does lie. Madeline, I read your paperback. Would love the audiobook. Crazy you don't have more reviews. They're coming. Those reviews, you bet you think about it though. I am not great about always reviewing either. It's just a time thing. I mean, I get it. I forget. And there are some products that I have bought that I just love and I should review them. I should review them. And sometimes I do, but not enough. I don't enough. And I haven't pushed it. I don't like to sell things. I don't like to bug people and push people, So they'll come rolling in. I'm confident of that. Just might take it a little bit. I don't know. But hell, it's possible. I could wake up in the morning and have 10,000 reviews and then somebody could get their $1,000. Seems like I missed something. Oh, wonderful, Madeline. Thank you so much. All right, the next thing, and feel free to chime in with any questions and I'll answer them. And if I don't stop and read your question, that just means I haven't seen it. So ask it again. I'm not real savvy with all the options here in TikTok Live. I should be better at it than what I am. But I do good to just make it here once a week with everything that I've got going on all the time. So, all right, I want to talk to you about the 4 soul questions. Have any of you heard about the 4 soul questions? I'm saying SOUL. Anybody familiar with the 4 soul questions? No. Rachel says no. Okay, I'm going to introduce you. Well, Kelly, of course, Kelly knows because she's been following me for a while. All right. I hadn't heard about the 4 soul questions either, okay? And I learned about these when I was a student of Deepak Chopra's at the Chopra Center. These 4 soul questions are 4 questions that you need to ask yourself every single day. And I use them twice a day because I meditate once in the morning, once in the evening. And I just silently repeat these questions to myself every single day, twice a day. You can use them that way. You can use them another way. But these 4 questions, if you guys are familiar with the Maharishi, Maharishi is the inventor of transcendental meditation. And I'm also trained in transcendental meditation and used it for a really long time, and then switched to primordial sound meditation when I started studying under Deepak, because that's the meditation that he brought from ancient India and packaged it so that the Western world could easily access it. And I just happened to get better results from primordial sound meditation, so I switched from TM to that, just so you know where I stand there. TM is a phenomenal meditation. It served me great for years. The Maharishi said that you could manifest anything you want just by asking yourself the 4 soul questions daily, okay? Deepak Chopra says the same thing. And I agree with both of those geniuses. So the 4 soul questions are: who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? And what am I grateful for? Those are the 4 questions. And when you ask yourself those questions, it's not like you're going to get just an audible answer like right away. But the answers do come in ways that you may not anticipate. It can be your intuition. You can suddenly be drawn to something and act on it without any logic whatsoever. You just kind of throw logic out the window and just act on something that you typically wouldn't. And that action leads to something that gets you closer to your life purpose. The last question is, what am I grateful for? I'll repeat them again. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? Okay? In my opinion, and there's a lot of research, there's a lot of research to back this up. I guess you could say it's a fact. There are a lot of sources of unhappiness. But I think the main instigator is going about life never getting what you want. And that usually happens because you never do live your life purpose. You never do what you were sent here to do. Everybody has a purpose. And it can be something small, it can be something big, it can be anything. But if you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you aren't doing what brings you joy, you're never going to be satisfied. And if you aren't satisfied, how can you be fully happy? How can you have like this sustainable happiness? You know, and it is possible. And I have reached that level, and it took a long time. I'm 48 years old, and I probably didn't reach that level until a couple of years ago. It took a long time. It took a lot of inner work. It's different for everybody. It may not take you that long, but it did take me that long. So if you reach that level of sustainable happiness, that doesn't mean that you aren't going to be thrown a big old life curveball here and there. It doesn't mean you're not going to encounter challenging times or trouble or heartache or grief. But you're going to deal with it a whole lot better. And that's where the sustainable happiness comes in. You're not going to let it get the best of you. You're going to process those emotions. You're not going to suppress them. You're not going to bury them so deep that they come out when you least expect it, cause you to make bad decisions or self-sabotage. You're going to deal with it with emotional intelligence. You're going to deal with it with mindful awareness, and you're going to live in faith, which means you're going to use that God-given free will the way that God intended. You're not going to take it for granted. You're not going to abuse it. You're going to make decisions that serve you well. You're going to give yourself what you want. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand. I don't know why I'm saying that. I absolutely understand where people pleasing comes from. But if you really think about it, why would you ever give somebody else what they needed and deny yourself what you need? Why would anybody do that? It's how we're raised. It's the subconscious programming. And those are the interferences that block us from our manifestations. Okay? Okay, somebody wanted me to talk about synchronicity. And I don't know if you're still in the room. I hope you are. I'll spend my last few minutes here talking about synchronicity. Synchronicity is tangible evidence from the universe. Embrace it. Oh, you're still here. Good. Embrace it. I mentioned earlier, the divine, your source, doesn't communicate with you the way that human beings do. Synchronicity is one way that your source communicates with you. And synchronicity, when it's real, it knocks you off your feet. And I talk all about synchronicity in my book. I talk about several episodes of synchronicity that I experienced before my whole life changed. And synchronicity will happen a lot before major manifestations come in, but it'll also happen when those manifestations are brewing behind the scenes. See, that's what synchronicity is. Even though you might be having the worst freaking day of your life, or you might feel like your world is falling apart, okay? That synchronicity may come rolling through to let you know, hey, your world's falling apart because it has to be dismantled so we can build this new world that you've been thinking about. Okay? It's to keep you on track. It's to let you know you are aligned. You are aligned with what you want. Keep moving forward. Don't backtrack. Keep moving forward. And that manifestation will show up. Rachel, yes, sometimes things have to fall apart so better things can come together. Exactly. I describe it a lot as an old bridge. Like, there's an old bridge. It's not safe to drive on, and a big old capital project has to be executed to make that bridge safe for people to drive on. Okay? Tearing that bridge down is going to cause a lot of upheaval. It's going to cause a lot of frustration from drivers who trying to commute to work, whatever. There's going to be traffic delays. There's going to be problems. Money's got to be spent. Huge project, okay? But it's all for everybody's benefit. A new bridge is going to serve your highest good because it's going to ensure your safety, okay? But getting that new bridge, well, you got to tear down the old one to make room for it, right? That's exactly how this can work at times. Because when you, wait a minute, I think Martina's got something. I just had a push to get lunch, town over, and a man fall. I'm not sure I understand, Martina. I'll keep talking. I'm sure she'll give me some clarity on that. But yeah, things sometimes have to fall apart before they get better. But what you'll notice is if you have been consciously creating, you have been getting rid of the old, making room for the new, you've decided that you are leveling up and you have leveled up, boom, something's going to erupt, usually. Because if you're anything like me and you had absolutely manifested yourself so deep into a hole of shit that climbing out of it, man, was messy, right? It was messy climbing out of that hole. And it took a long time, because it took me about 29 years to dig that hole. So I was at the very bottom, and so I had to literally claw my way out of there. It wasn't easy, and a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of relationships were completely broken. Financial issues, you name it. It was just like the whole world caved in. But that's when the synchronicity started with me. I remember the first time it happened, you all. It was unbelievable. And I remember sitting up in my bed and crying and saying, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I knew in that moment that everything was going to be all right. And I'll tell you about it. I was climbing my way out of the hole, and I had applied for a job, and this job had the potential to change the trajectory of my life and get me closer to living the life that I wanted. I was really, really, really bad financial situation. Well, I was broke was the thing, and I'd applied for this job. And all of the jobs that I had applied for in the past, I didn't get them. I never got them. And I would go into the interview in that mindset. I'd be like, well, I'm applying for this job. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I'm going to get it. They're not going to hire me. It's a waste of my time. And of course I didn't get the job. I mean, it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to get that job. Well, this one was different. I went into this one acting like I already had the job. I told people I already had the job. And I believed wholeheartedly that I was going to get that job, even though I was not qualified for that job. I was not qualified for that job, period. But I got it. And the episode of synchronicity that happened was I was asleep. And I woke up for no reason and glanced over at my iPhone, and it said 111. It was 1:11 a.m. And I get emotional thinking about it to this day, because that was the evidence that I needed. And I sat up in the bed and I said, oh my God, thank you, oh my God. And a few days went by, and I got hired in that job. And to this day, that's a job that it changed my life. It didn't pay a lot, but it opened doors, and it helped me grow as a person. And it got me closer to the bigger picture. And without that job, I mean, that job was part of the plan. And I loved that job. It didn't pay a lot, but I really loved it. So I hope that answers your questions about synchronicity. It can come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. A lot of people start seeing those number sequences. That's what it was like for me. But then I got a little bit more advanced, and it started showing up in other ways, kind of, more sophisticated ways. Rachel, Paula, I got a little emotional when your Kindle book was 777. Ah, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. I don't think I didn't set that price. So something might be communicated there. Amazon changes those prices. I don't do that. So might have happened for a reason. 777 is a really good number sequence to see. And if you start seeing that, if you see that again today, or you see it again tomorrow, then pep up and pay attention. You're seeing it for a reason. So I'll tell you this, that I'll close out for the day, because I'm actually doing a radio talk show. If you want to tune in, it's Positive Talk Radio with Kevin McDonald. We go live at 4:30 today, so I need to prepare for that. So I'll tell you this, and then I'll close out. Synchronicity for me, as Martina 777, on my grandson license plate. There you go. You just saw it again, Rachel. There you go. Shirley, you are very welcome. I'm glad that you're here. But the more that you get advanced, then the more sophisticated the synchronicity will get. And the number sequences all have different meanings. A lot of people get wrapped up in those meanings of what they mean. Just know if you're experiencing synchronicity, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And you will figure out in time why you're seeing it and what it means. And I'll give you an example of a really sophisticated episode of synchronicity that I had before a major miracle appeared. Was driving down the road and thought about a song that, I hadn't heard and God knows when. It's a song that I would never think about in a million years. It was Lubbock, Texas, in my rearview mirror, I think by Mac Davis. That just popped into my head, and I turned the radio on in the car, which is something I never did, still don't do to this day. Turned on the radio, freaking song was playing. It knocked me off my feet. I almost had to pull the car over on the side of the road. And a week later, I met Will, the man that I ended up marrying, and we're still married to this day. So pay attention to that synchronicity. Embrace it. Believe it. Count on it. It's guiding you, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hop off, and I hope you will tune in to the Thought Snob podcast this week. Bye, Martina. I have the Magic Siren as a guest. It aired yesterday morning. And we've got a new moon coming up on February the 28th. And that's a big manifestation time. And on my podcast, the Magic Siren teaches 4 moon rituals for manifesting during the podcast. One of my favorite episodes that I've ever done. And she is on TikTok. She's on every social media platform as the Magic Siren. She's the real deal. I absolutely love her. Had a reading with her yesterday, and she offered a special discount for my Thought Snobs. You can get $10 off a reading with the discount code Thought Snob, and all that information is included with the podcast episode. And the Thought Snob podcast is available everywhere you get your podcast, or you can just hit the link in my bio and it'll take you straight to it. The podcast is the Thought Snob Podcast. And you can go to my website at paulaswope.com, and there's a landing page that's dedicated to the Thought Snob Podcast. And there's kind of like a one-stop shop. All the episodes are there. And then at the bottom of the page, you can find all of them on your favorite streaming channel, okay? All right. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll be back next Wednesday. And if there's a certain topic that you want me to talk about, then email me or send me a DM on here, and I'll talk about it. I'm always looking for topics, and I love hearing from you all. So I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Make it a great one.